Alright, you guys. We are playing the Stanley Parable. I don't know why the screen's like this. This is as good as it's gonna get. It wasn't letting me, full screen it, so whatever. We're working with what we got. So let's get it, let's go. Never the end is never the end is never the end is. Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna say something else. Okay. Sorry. I'm a little nutty today.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Flat Stanley?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Imagine our life being like that.
Something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Is that what I'm doing now? Oh my god, Stanley, you're so fast. Hold on. It's too sensitive for me. Mass acceleration disabled. Okay. Whatever.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Hello?
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Is anybody here? Hello? So this is work was canceled and nobody was gonna tell me about it? God, I thought we were all buddies. Not even the manager. Not even the manager, bro. I cannot believe this audacity.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What happens if I go to the right? What happens if I go to the right? I'm really not liking how the sun like her robe. Oh man. I'm gonna go to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Heck yeah, look at that.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Can I get a Pepsi Cola? Give me the Pepsi Cola. No, fine.
Yes, really. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm going straight.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I like exploring on my own.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Are you trying to
This
be
is
like
it,
my
Stanley.
therapist?
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
He's trying to make me feel like I can't make decisions on my own. I am a free man. Hello? I don't like that. Is this blood? I'm gonna pretend that's rust, but I guess we'll just go through here.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
That
To
scared
reach
me.
out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Aw, the door isn't open. Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I thought this was a trap. I thought I was about to have to run from the D word. From the D-E-M-O-N.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
I died? Good morning, employee 427. Press B on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Press 1.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press 0.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined
Where'd
that
the TV
one
go?
day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
I feel like he's talking crap about me. Press F for
As he
dinner.
wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and
Hello?
destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and monitors.
Where is this going?
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
To tell your kids a story?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could it possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is
Am I
pushing the
back?
same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets.
Let me
He
out!
forgets which life is the real one.
Press 2 to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't
Nice.
listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
To be work in the morning. I mean, how can I not? He's like, oh, now you want to listen. I'm just hearing that clock tick. Fine. Where's B? B?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
So all this was just for him to make a point that I didn't listen to him the first time. I get it now. I'm gonna listen to you now.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
Alright,
Perhaps,
alright,
well,
I'll
maybe this time
listen.
you'll see.
Hurry up!
This time. And I tried again.
Please
Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What in the hell Jan say? God.
All of
So
his
all-
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
All this to
Stanley
tell
decided to go
me,
to the
show me a
meeting. Perhaps he
lesson,
had simply
make a
misremembered.
point.
When Stanley came to a set
Fine.
of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll listen.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips
Feeling
for
a
not getting
wave of
fired.
disbelief, Stanley decided to
Talk
go up to
less.
his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Sounds about right. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Nice. Why do we all have the same hairstyles? Number of slides on this slide. Slides. Charts and slides. Okay. Where am I going? My boss's office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, but I want to go downstairs so badly. It's so hard to listen to you, bro, when you don't even describe what's down there. Hello? Is anybody here?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
big
to discover
office.
not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known
real?
was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. he stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, I was like, where? Is that my boss up there? Anyways. Oh, what a scary elevator. Ah! This narrator has some attitude. A little bit. Nothing too crazy.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, is this where they control my brain?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
For real?
To himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What the hell are you on say? Stanley, you brave soul. Ah.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
What number am I? 427.
In the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant
433, 2, 1, 30, 29, 28, 27. That one's mine. Wait, what's my instruction? Did I press it again? No. Oh no, I go this way. 427. I'm right there. Yeah. God, they were stalking all of us.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Heck yeah, look at all this.
With his boring job, that
fired.
being manipulated to accept it blindly.
600 employees. Oh my god.
No, he refused to believe it. He
Oh, but he believed it.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
I believe it.
unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even
Nope.
possible? Had he
Possible.
truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes, he has. He sure
Here's the
has.
proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For
Yes.
he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yes. I like the way you think. I press big button now? No? Ugh. 5. What am I pressing? There's a number. Mind control idle. Awaiting inputs. System power. Oh
And when at last he
yeah.
found the source of the room's power,
Wahaha.
he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What? Yes. Shut down.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
My God.
Was it over?
Hero? I saw some movement. I
Yes,
see movement.
he had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And
Is
yet,
that it?
even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's
They're all dead.
grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to
It's
live.
the outside world.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go,
Wow.
what to do, or how to feel.
So
Whatever
pretty.
life he lives,
Come on.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Let's go. Yes.
Stanley felt the cool breeze
Wow.
upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of a new path. This was exactly the way, right
I'm
now,
free.
that things were meant to happen.
I'm free. Gets eaten by a
Stanley
dinosaur.
was happy.
Stanley was happy. Wow. So beautiful. We beat the game! We beat the game. I'm back here?
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory.
Alright,
What
we're
did it
going the
look
other
like?
way.
There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm going on my right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What
me
a
the
gorgeous,
Pepsi-Cola.
gorgeous room.
The
Thank goodness Stanley
Pepsi-Cola.
had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Give me the Pepsi-Cola. I want the Pepsi-Cola.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I'm looking at the Pepsi-Colas. Anyways.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's go. I'm
And
going
so
downstairs.
He detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Isn't this where I came from the last time? Came up here and went there, right? Yeah. And nothing even matter. Hey.
Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Are you sure?
Oh, no. No,
Ah!
it's to the right. My mistake.
You better slam that door in my face.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
He act like we got time for
Let's
this.
see, we went down, right,
Not him going through the
left,
manual.
Down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Are you sure? There's a whole truck in front of me. We're going down to the abyss.
No, 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 no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay,
I'm closing them.
okay.
Ah!
We just have to get back to,
Fired.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Fired.
The story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Not from the top, bro.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I already beat the game.
What
I'm
could
just
it
kind of
mean?
wandering from here.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And nothing even matters.
When Stanley... Wait.
What
wait,
the hell, Beyonce?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh,
Did he?
Change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I
Are
asking
you blaming
I'm the one
me?
who wrote the story.
Yeah.
It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then.
Take
It's an adventure.
responsibility for your own
Come,
actions.
Stanley, let's find the story.
What in the hell, Beyonce? I'm lost and confused. Am I gonna find something I don't like? Just kind of looks like the back rooms, bro. Did I already go this way? I think I did.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
I wasn't ready!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, there's no
yep,
doors.
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I guess. I don't think we did, though. There's a door open there.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
What the hell, Beyonce?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Retrace? This place is like a maze.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is
For
this the
real?
story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Since
What?
I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Let's go!
Put in a lot of hard work, and it
I
really
sure did.
paid off. So, good job.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Now what?
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people
Wow.
win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow
Nice.
the line. How simple is that?
Very simple. Alright, so we're just gonna follow this line. Okay, we following the line. Follow the line. The line
See?
I
The
follow.
line knows where the story is. It's
I
over
follow.
in this direction.
I
Onward,
follow.
Stanley, to destiny.
I follow.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
What if
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably
but I wanna
conjured into
follow the
being
line
via the very manifestation
so badly.
of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of
can't
your existence
go over the wall.
rests inside of your subjective
What
experience
the hell,
of
Leon?
this
Say.
office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own
Hella
relative
biscuit.
experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what?
You know,
I think
sir,
what we
I'm
need
not
right
even
now
listening.
Is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh God. I don't like this music. Oh, my bad. So many twists and turns. Dragging me across the wall that I can't get into. Oh my damn, is this ever going to...
Go
Oh my
back
God,
and
you're
look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line. You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story is... Oh, no, not again.
Yes.
Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we
What does
trusted
that say
you,
over there?
after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't
Fired.
do this anymore. To hell
You're
with it.
fired.
Restart.
Fired. Again?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring,
guess.
mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about
Other
this
doors?
direction?
We're exploring off map. Oh, yes.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path,
Hell
a new
yeah.
story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
We're in this
Go
together.
on. Use your
Together
imagination.
forever.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I want to walk into an ice cream truck because I want some ice cream. Make it
no,
a
not you
double.
again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No
For
lines
real.
or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it.
This line ruins everything. Ear. Ear, 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 ear. Oh, the line's gone. Hello.
A choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How
Nice.
important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay.
Don't gotta
so
tell
I
me
know that
twice.
each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay, I'm done. Hello? You've been playing the confusion ending for 16 minutes.
What's this? The
First.
confusion ending. You're
DVD
telling
from
me
maintenance room.
that's what this is?
First restart.
It's all
Second
one
restart.
giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
The narrator's gone
really
after a
how
long
all
time.
this
Stanley
goes?
dies. I die?
Determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
And don't do
And
it.
the timer stopped.
Hero?
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
Why is there just a chair
Will
here?
someone come for us? Will something happen?
I'm scared.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm
I
not quite
guess
sure
so.
if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Ah! What the hell, Leontay? What the hell, Berry? Why did we reset? I'm gonna die, aren't I? I'm gonna die.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna die.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Don't
up
get
to
fired.
his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm going downstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense.
What the?
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
Going in
why
a
couldn't
cycle.
he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
Copy,
And at last,
copy.
he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Peppy
His
Cola!
co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined
Lucid.
himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
I'm
He
flying.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? Then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
Where is this going?
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Me and Stanley are losing our minds.
Awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself...
While I'm still walking?
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
My robot
all
wife.
I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am Stanley. Flat Stanley.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is... I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Not gonna lie, that gave me a little anxiety.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
I'm a woman now.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane.
Wow.
I am in control of my mind.
This narrator talking
I know
crap.
what is real and what isn't.
He's saying we're not normal.
It was comforting to think this. And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Poor Stanley.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
Bruh.
Very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So she left my body. What in the heliance is
All of
this?
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is a different way, isn't it? Yes, it is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Look, the floor moves. Go straight with me. Go straight with me. Oh, it just goes this way. Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Meow.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might
Meow.
have coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ew. Executive bathroom. Ah! I can open the bathroom. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for the breakfast. Money crisp. Close the door. Alrighty. I can open the door. I can go to the elevator. Did they just whisper Stanley? They are. They're whispering Stanley! This is a long elevator ride. This is the longest my narrator has not spoken to me. Something's wrong. Was that it? It was just for the tunes?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Was it not
What could its
245?
purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct
Wow,
code
that's a
by
big
sheer
ceiling.
luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Do anything over here? Nope. Nope. Oh, this is different.
Stanley walked straight ahead through
Oh,
the
no,
large
it's the
door
same.
that read Mind Control Facility.
Was this here before? Escape!
Although this passageway
Escape!
had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh, God. Would I?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Hell no.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Scary. Ah!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
What the Halle Berry is
Stanley
this?
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned,
Bro,
willingly accepted
it
this
always looks like
private
it's already
turn to
closer
his
in.
brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Wait a minute!
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I'm alive? I'm alive?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
The
What
Stanley
exactly
Parable.
did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
The narrator wanted to kill me off.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh my god. This is the map. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been removed and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Huh. The very first concrete piece of Stanley Parable's design, once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Office computers. Hey, it's solitaire. Credits. The office. Is this my bike? Was I in a war zone? Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. Not the aliens! The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Damn, R.I.P. R.I.P. Stanley. What's this? After the second trailer we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. From James Irvin, subject, how is the games? Oh, partner, I am Anthony Elias, business broker. Please partner with me in a very rewarding business venture. Details will be sent to you if you are interested. Quackster, question, will the game feature capybaras? Not the capybaras. Question, are you a rock? No, this is Patrick. Questions, how do you make JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? This is like a museum. I just realized that I'm dumb. It's the phone. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The apartment timer. In a previous version of choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Oh. I should have not picked up the phone. Employee 427. Wow, it's my office. So is the narrator gone? I don't like that. Employee lounge. What is this? Narrator now takes Kevin writing the voice of the narrator, record dialogue for the entire game, roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game. Not Stanley walked over the bridge. Oh my god. Can I press the button? No. Is it over?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
I was waiting for her to say something else.
Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
Escape!
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Going to die. Ah! I died. I died. Hello? I was like, I'm still there, right? I really done just died. There's no way that's the end of the game. There's no way. Is that the end of the game? Me dying? I'm so tempted. I don't know, man, but I'm getting hungry. You can't tell me that's how I die. Hold on, I need a snack. There's no way. Well, I guess that's game. I decided to choose the life of death, so now I'm dead. I thought it'd be like, you know, restart. Because I'm not. Yeah. I guess that was game. I guess I died. I chose the path of death. Alrighty, you guys. We beat the game, I think. I think I just died or something. I don't know. But alright, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next gaming video. Peace.